Hello, welcome to another Theater Award mission. This is the 6th German mission. We get to play with some tigers this time. It's gonna be fun. This is just a map. I decided to show it. So this is Operation Cathedral, or if I don't know if I'm saying that right. All right, so for the first part of this mission, surprisingly, this didn't take me this long. This mission compared to the other ones, it took me 30 or 40 minutes. This one just, well, 30 or close to 50 minutes. This one just took me 30. Well, yeah. Well, there's another one that took me around 30 minutes, but it was close to 30, like 39. So yeah, for this first part, you're gonna want to make a defensive position because the Russians are gonna be right after. They're gonna be coming right after you. So you want to get those tanks good in a good defensive area. Move the men over to the half tracks and put them in there. Sadly, it won't fit all the squad in there, which is kind of stupid, but whatever. So yeah, move the infantry. Put the half. Well, I mean, you don't have to do exactly what I did, but this is just the best way I found it. Because if you lose or your tank gets your tanks get damaged where they can't move, this mission will be a hell of a lot harder. That's not even a joke. I mean, it will be near impossible unless you get reinforcements in time. So I mean, and you do not want them to move, period, because that'd not be good. So for the most part, you're gonna want to make a dense defensive area, and your tanks will, and if you better hope that none of them get damaged or destroyed, because this mission will be a hell of a lot harder. And also, the Russian artillery might give you a problem. So, because see here, that's where they're already firing it. Your tank should be fine unless they take a direct hit, and your infantry are the most ones at risk. So you want to get them in the half tracks, but it won't fit all of them. So, which is really stupid. So. See, like there's a couple guys left, so yeah, you should be moving your guys around. And then you see the artillery, that it can be a real problem with your infantry just around there. So I just told them to try. I kind of moved them to get out of the way, but. Yeah, for the most part, I don't know why their artillery shrapnel wouldn't kill you guys in the half tracks, but it doesn't. So I decided to move these guys over here, the half tracks and stuff like that, because there's going to be a bunch of Russian infantry rushing, and you can somewhat flanking them, you could say. And yep, your tanks are just doing its thing. This mission took me a bit because I'll just tell my tanks to move out, and the Russians would they would literally flank you and stuff like that. So I said rather just keep it in a defensive position, because they're going to be coming from. I'm trying to look at the map. They're going to be coming from the west, the east, and the south. So that's going to be a problem. And also those airplanes are going to be a problem too. So once you get the airplanes, the fighter support, you better use them, because those fighters will be a big problem. The attack planes. So this is just the infantry unloading. I decided to zoom down here a lot just to see what's going on. As you can see, some of my guys got hurt, but whatever. I tell these guys to move over here, because as you will see, there will be Russians advancing. So, and the half tracks do help with their machine gun on the top. Like I say, line formations I think are the best for a defensive position. And that was weird for me, because the video didn't add up for some reason. It's weird. It cut for me, but it probably won't cut for you. What the heck? I might have a problem. Oh, just that. I'll move the track later. It's not gonna make a difference. So okay, I'm trying to think where I left off. Okay, line of tree. Yeah, sorry, I didn't. It cut for me for some reason. Well, it didn't cut. It just the track didn't line up. So sorry, I'm trying to think where I'm left off. Okay, all right. Let me just start. All right. Yeah, I just zoom in for the infantry to show what's happening. So I just like to zoom in sometimes to see what it looks like. Which is kind of weird because you can, sometimes you can barely see the other guys. So, but you can see there's a huge Russian advance, and the half tracks are moving up and starting to mow them down. Surprised that the tanks don't come and get the half track, the half tracks. So surprised they don't get them. My infantry's beginning to move out. Well, I'm actually, the other infantry I told them to move, that they come meet them. So I tell them to get another line they'll kind of reform that line formation. For the most part, they're beginning to mow them down. The other infantry I was zooming in on, those guys are gonna be like blown away. So eventually, like there'll be 2 guys left. Yeah, when I'm talking, it's gonna sound a little weird because that thing that when it cut, well not cut, didn't add up, didn't line up right. The audio's I think a little bit off. So I'm trying to. That's why there was kind of a pause I was doing. Just wait until. So, like this machine gunner with his MG 34. 34, yeah, yes, I said that right. He's behind a tree and he's still shooting, which I kind of find weird. So I tell him to move over here. So for the graphics, I just kind of I just leave everything really on low. I turn the shadow on because it didn't really make a difference. It didn't slow it down much, well, barely. And that's what I really just did. And I put them all qualities because I just told them basically no grass, like they're coming from the ground. And put really everything else on low, except for the shadows. And yeah, it looks a little better than just stuff standing there. So surprisingly I didn't lose any tanks yet, which because every time I played this, I kept losing or just the tanks were getting destroyed, and I was really pissed. But now it says that their counterattack failed, and now I just gotta wait until it's clear. But I should not have left my men here. I should have told them to move because I knew the Russian artillery would have just homed down the position. So it was kind of a mistake on my part for not moving them quick. Oh, and the graphics, I also did hide bodies because that does slow it down a little bit once there's a ton of bodies on there. So the bodies you'll see the bodies, but eventually they'll just go away. So I'm fine with that for now. You know, it helps it record a little better in the long run. So yeah, I'm just waiting until it's clear. And now I had another fighter come in, but then their stupid ground attack fighters almost got that. But my fighter will get them probably. There comes, I think, oh no, that's an enemy fighter. I think he does come down and attack. Oh, he doesn't get the thing again. See, and this is where the Russian artillery homes in on my infantry. This is not good because I don't want to lose that much infantry. Sadly, I do. I sometimes like to go zoom down and just watch what's happening. But then I believe that's oh, I think those are 2 enemy fighters and a third one, which is weird because I thought I called in a fighter, but apparently I called another one in to see because I think those ground attack fighters come back and they shoot them down eventually, I believe. But I don't know. I don't remember. So yeah, I tell them the whole position because there's a couple stragglers out there. But then I said, "Oh crap!" And then I decided to move them to get getting all that half track. But yeah, most of them die. But that was kind of my fault. This the half track up there was going to move up, start mowing some guys down, but he didn't really find anything. But see what I mean? I should have moved them eventually because I knew the artillery was going to get eventually, and I wasn't really paying attention either. Yep. After I noticed my tanks, I didn't lose any of them, or any of them get damaged where I can't use them. So I decided to move my tanks up because I know there'll be more Russian tanks coming in. So I decided to tell them just to move them up. So yeah, the half tracks. I was a little mad because in the unit selection where you can exchange or get more units if you have more points, they wouldn't let them get rid of the half tracks. But I'm like, well, I looked at it, I'm like, well, you know, it did really help the infantry, and it did help with the other. It helped with the Russian infantry coming to attack me. So I said, nah, whatever. So yeah. For the most part, I'm just getting my men ready and moving my tanks up. See, like, it basically just wasted that infantry squad. So these guys are being moved over, getting to the half track. One guy takes gunner, and everyone else is lining up to get in. These tanks are beginning to move up. That's, I think, a newer version of the Stug, to my knowledge, or whatever, like in the road to Moscow, 3rd mission. Tanks are beginning to move up, and then I'm checking the time on the video I have. I'm at 12 minutes. Alright, that's cool. So, yep, my tanks are moving. Because where the number 1 on the map is, I have to take that station. But I know what I figure out that there's more Russian tanks coming, but really more they're moving anti-tanks, and those things are powerful. I mean, like those things will blow the heck out. Like they'll blow up a tank. They'll blow up a freaking Tiger. That's how powerful those anti-tanks, the Russian anti-tanks are that are coming after. They're movable too. So. They're, I don't know if they're just called anti-tanks, but it's like a tank, but it's an anti-tank, you know what I mean? I don't know what they're called different, I just say an anti-tank. So yep, they're just beginning to move up, and I know there's a lot of infantry left, so my guys start using their machine guns in their tanks, and they start shooting. They shoot now and ask questions later, but they're all dead, so. See all those like combat gear things at the bottom? Those are like where bodies would be, but I told them to hide bodies to sit, just make it easier on recording. I might turn it back on, I don't know. So yeah, these guys are still moving. I still got all my Tigers for now, and my Panzers. So. Yeah, I destroyed a lot of Russian tanks, and that's a lot. So this was during Operation Cathedral. I believe that's what it's called. And I'm trying to think more about it. It was in 43, and this was the last German offensive they tried to do to take back the war in the East, but it looked like it could have succeeded, but it didn't. The Germans took a lot of casualties, but the Russians took a hell of a lot more. But what the problem with the Germans was, they could not afford those casualties, and the Russians could afford theirs. I mean, well, the casualties are never good, but I mean, you know, they could afford it, meaning it wouldn't have been a problem to them. So. Then I looked over here and I noticed there was a guy with a machine gun, but I lost him, and then I like, oh, there he is. So he just starts firing, and he was trying to fire at a half track, I believe, and I'm like, oh, well, he's not really going to get it.